And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. We do have some breaking news for you this afternoon. We've got two big stories for you, as you can read there in the title. Labour's nightmare continues in shocking Tuesday reveal. Well, shocking to Labour, not so shocking for all of us. We're of course going to be discussing all of those details. Also what's going through some more sort of breaking news as the Archbishop of Canterbury has now resigned. So we've got two big stories that we are going to discuss in today's live stream. So do sit back and relax. As always, do hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, please do get involved down there in the live chat. Just another quick one before we do get into it. We have allowed there to now be members on the channel. So if you want to help support British Stand, want to show that you're a member of British Stand in the live chat, you can do so by pressing join. Again, we will do some more perks for members as well, including discounted merchandise for our monthly drops. But let's get into the first story, and that is with regards to, of course, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Yes, Justin Welby has resigned as the Archbishop of Canterbury after facing scrutiny over his failure to report a prolific child abuser to authorities. A review of the church handling of John Smith's QC case published last week found that Mr. Welby did not formally alert the authorities of learning of the abuse back in 2013. In a statement, he essentially said, "It's very clear that I must take a personal and institutional responsibility for the long and period between 2013 and 2024. Again, he has now resigned from his position and is no longer the Archbishop of Canterbury. And to be fair, to be honest, in the Christian world, in the Church of England, they do have a very, very long way to go in terms of getting away from these abuse scandals and sort of cover-ups. But this is a step in the right direction. And for those of you that are a big Christian, I'm sure this is very, very good news for you. It's been a while, but certainly you can't be having these people in these positions. And as stated, he has resigned this afternoon. So that's some breaking news for you, straight off the press with regards to the Archbishop of Canterbury. Now, moving on to today's main subject, guys. This is with regards to Labour, and it's the first time it's happened in the first 4 months, despite Labour being absolutely scandalous, despite them being in scandal after scandal, hiking up taxes by £40 billion, doing loads of crazy things. Their latest one is with regards to the farmers. They have finally been toppled out of the top of the polls. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a latest poll today has revealed, whilst it's not necessarily good news for the British Stand subscribers, it is good news in terms of Labour off the top spot for the first time in 4 months, and that the Conservatives have taken top spot for the first time in a long time. In terms of Keir Starmer taking over in this Labour government, this is the first time that they have been toppled. They have taken a 2-point poll lead over Keir Starmer's Labour Party in Kemi Badenoch's first few weeks as leader. And as stated here on British Stand, we're not Tories. We don't back the Tory party at all. And we'll get into what it means for reform a little bit later on. But the new Tory leader has taken the party to 29% of the vote, according to the pollsters and More in Commons, with Labour now behind on just 27%. This is the highest rating for the Conservatives since February. It marks a remarkable fall from grace, of course, for Labour, which in July was elected to power in victory over Rishi Sunak's Conservatives. We all know why they went to victory, is because half the country didn't bloody vote. Then Labour, of course, this is them down on quite a lot, but there's been a lot of scandals over this period in time. The fallout from Rachel Reeves' £40 billion tax grab has grown, and Labour's poll continues to fall. Just keeps on nosediving, genuinely. In terms of the actual, the net approval, it sits at -3 in terms of Kemi Badenoch. However, compared to Keir Starmer, he's on current -25 points, which is mental. It's super crazy and just goes to show the disaster class that he is currently doing as the leader of this country. Now, I would say for Kemi Badenoch at this moment in time, obviously it's like a new leader bounce, if you like, so it won't really represent in the polls clearly until a little bit later on into her sort of tenure. But she's of course got that new leader bounce, which has seen the Conservatives top Labour for the first time, and this has seen Keir Starmer's Labour government fall down from the top spot, as stated, for the first time. It has finally happened. But guys, here on British Stand, we don't support Labour, we don't support Conservatives whatsoever. We do support reform. And again, whilst they have had their problems over the last couple of weeks with regards to a few different subjects and situations, I personally, at this moment in time, in my opinion, I do believe that they're probably the best party to go with, of course. And Nigel Farage's Reform UK have continued to gain more support, with 19% of the vote up from 18% at the beginning of November. So it's a slowish climb, but we're getting there. Reform are certainly climbing up the ranks, they're climbing up the table, and have got yet another hike in their vote since the start of November. The Liberal Democrats have lost ground, falling from 14% to 11%, which is always good to see as well, with the Green Party remain flat on 8%. So that's the latest poll. And for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, in this 4 months, Keir Starmer's Labour government have fallen down, which is absolutely glorious to see. But the fight isn't over. These guys are not going to be coming back in 2029. There's no chance about that. Absolutely zero chance, regardless of what's happening with these polls. But after 4 months and the disastrous fall that they've had is firstly been satisfying, because I've seen it coming anyway, but also at the same time, our fight isn't over yet. We still have a long time in terms of trying to get up those leader charts, but things are starting to look really positive. Of course, the stuff coming out from Wales with regards to the Reform Party, they've had the situation in 2 seconds, let me just get up my statistics for it, as stated, in the Wales political landscape as the 2026 elections approach. For the first time in 25 years, polls suggest Labour may lose power to the dissatisfaction over the NHS performances and the 20 miles per hour speed limits. Reform UK, the Welsh Conservatives, all sense an opportunity in Wales. And again, Reform's recent conference in Newport, attended by 800 people and featuring Nigel Farage, was described as energised and buzzing, with growing momentum for the party in Wales. Some commentators say this marks Reform as a rising force, while Welsh voters call for fresh appeal from the Conservatives. So again, I do think this is very, very good news. Whilst we do have them for a while, the representation in the polls at this moment in time show Labour fall into behind the Conservatives since the first time since February, but since they've been elected have never fell from the top spot. So there you go. Some good news on that regard, but still the Tories are still not the answer. Again, whilst they have done got a new leader and they're looking to rebrand themselves, I do think it'll be more or less of the same crap that's been happening over those last 14 years. Labour worse, a lot worse, the tyrannical socialist government, but the Tories, whilst I don't think they're as worse as Labour, they're certainly not the answer for this country going forward. I definitely think Reform is definitely the party to take the United Kingdom forward, for sure. Currently with that ground as well, look, guys, in terms of where we are right now, a little while away, 2029 is a long way, but that's not looking too bad. That's not looking too bad. It just seems like Reform is always making progress as these polls come out. Labour loses ground. Conservatives, as stated, have a bit of a bounce, but that's due to a new leader. But I genuinely don't think that they will take, well, I mean, 2029 is ambitious, of course, but again, with Labour stinking the place out, this only land grabs for the other parties, and reform can prove to be something different, as the Conservatives were a failure for 14 years. So, yeah, that's some good news there with regards to that. And I want to see what you guys think down there in the old comment section below. A lot of people stating that they're reform supporters. Star anti-British out, Labour government. I'm not voting reform. I don't like Farage. As stated, guys, in our community, as I said, everyone's got their opinions and who they want. A lot of people have been rubbed up the wrong way, of course, to the reforms comments to Tommy Robinson's supporters, and that's one of me as well. I did think what Richard Tice said was utterly disgraceful. But there could be a way back in, and genuinely at this moment in time, out of the parties, I know UKIP is there, but for 2029, I don't necessarily think UKIP could obviously make up that sort of ground. I do think Reform at this moment in time, of course, are the party for change, and the party that will, of course, see change happen, and something that's realistic for 2029, especially the way that things are going with regards to these polls. So yeah, so Labour, of course, in the mud. Again, nightmare continues for them. The Church of England is going to be getting a new Archbishop of Canterbury after he steps down. I mean, that's disgraceful. And the Church of England, anyway, need to buck up their ideas. They do need change. A lot of people, of course, sounding out Thingy to take over. Sorry, I'm not overly clued up with the Church of England, but Calvin Robinson to take over, and again, that could be a step in the right direction for that. But on the political side, it's great to see Labour falling from disgrace again. Yeah, someone putting in the live chat, Dick Advocat. Nice one. I like that. Good to see. You've noticed the jersey. Thank you. But guys, that's all I've really got for you today's live stream. Do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get your thoughts down there in the live chat. And as I said, we're going to keep on coming to you here with daily live streams, keeping you up to date with the British political sphere, and all of the sort of breaking news that comes out. So do make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and let me know if you like these live streams. If you like them, then we'll continue to do them as much as we can. Obviously, you don't want to rip the arse out of it in terms of if there's no news, and we're not going to bring you news. But if there is news like this, then of course we'll sit down on a live stream, discuss it with you guys, and yeah, it's all there. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll be back on a live if there's anything breaking tonight. But if not, then I'll see you for PMQs tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be a bit of a fallout with regards to that. But I'll see you all next time, guys. Take care. Look after yourselves. Peace.